Finland's accession into the NATO military alliance has altered the security framework of the Arctic on a very fundamental level. Although initially reluctant, Russia has now inked a historic maritime security deal with China. And what this means is that Moscow and Beijing are now joining hands to take on the NATO presence over the Arctic ice. The Arctic Council has 8 nations, and when Sweden too joins the NATO military alliance, then 7 of the 8 nations of the Arctic Council will be part of the NATO military alliance. So how is Russia planning to take on the NATO military alliance in one of the coldest regions of planet Earth? Our next report gets you the details. The scramble for the Arctic is well and truly underway. The Arctic is one of the coldest and one of the most hostile environments in the world. Just about 4 million people live here. But according to the United States Geological Survey, the Arctic is home to an estimated 25% of the world's oil, gas and mineral deposits. And the Arctic's melting ice has changed the geopolitical realities of the region. There are 8 nations that fall or border the Arctic zone: Russia, United States, Canada, Denmark, Norway, Iceland, Sweden and Finland. And amongst these, it is Russia that has an overarching presence at the Arctic. But with Finland joining the NATO military alliance and Sweden too on the verge of jumping onto the American military bandwagon, the Arctic ice shelf is increasingly beginning to look like the NATO ice cap. So how does Russia counter this? By bringing in an ally with formidable economic and military might to blunt NATO's edge. China is 1,400 kilometers away from the Arctic Circle, but Beijing likes to describe itself as a near-Arctic nation, with the stated ambition of wanting to become a polar great power by 2030. On the 25th of April, in the Russian city of Murmansk, close to the Finnish border in the Arctic Circle, Russia and China signed a deal for maritime law enforcement for the Arctic. At this moment, China has invested a staggering $90 billion in infrastructure assets at the Arctic. To counter NATO, Russia is also encouraging other non-Arctic nations like India, Iran and Saudi Arabia to expand their commercial presence. In the course of the last decade, Russia has been aggressively expanding its Arctic defense capabilities. Russia's coastline accounts for almost about 53% of the Arctic Ocean, and it is here that Russia has stationed its hypersonic missile systems. In the last few years, Russia has reopened 50 previously closed Soviet-era military posts. It has refurbished 13 air bases, 10 radar stations and 20 border outposts. The Russian Special Forces are also a part of the Arctic Brigade and have been deployed for military drills and exercises. In 2017, Russia unveiled an ultra-modern military base on the Franz Josef Land island called the Arctic Trefoil. This is Russia's northernmost military outpost and is the second of its kind facility after Kotelny. It is now home to the upgraded Nagorskoye Air Base and provides Russia with air, sea and land capabilities. The KOLA Peninsula is the epicenter of Russia's Arctic power projection. It is here that Russia is estimated to have stationed its highest number of nuclear weapons. The Gadzievo submarine base at the KOLA Peninsula has been expanded, and the nearby Plesets Cosmodrome is widely used for testing Russia's latest military hardware. The Novaya ZELMYA island in the Russian Arctic is home to the Rogochivo Air Base. Additional radar and electronic warfare equipment has also been set up. In 2019, S-400 air defense missile systems were also deployed at Rogochivo. The TIKSI air base in central eastern Russia has been significantly expanded by 11 new structures in total. S-400 air defense missile systems will be stationed here, supplemented by radio technical regiments. The KOTELNY island, which is one of the largest Siberian islands, is equipped with a state-of-the-art Trefoil military compound, along with Sopka-2 radar facilities and missile launch vehicles. Russia views the Arctic as its future. It has deployed more military resources than all other NATO nations combined at the Arctic. And now, by joining hands with China, Russia is planning to push NATO out of the Arctic Circle.